Getting my first look of the day at the most beautiful Jackson Motorplex. This place really is incredible. I'm pumped for tonight. So the series that we are competing with tonight is known as MSTS. This is kind of like the region where you get guys from Houston, you guys run in Knoxville and some of the other tracks up in this area. It's a 410 sprint car show, and honestly it looks like we got a lot of cars that just rolled in the pit area. The rigs is kind of starting to all fill up. But tonight we are running what is known as a pill draw format. So there's no qualifying. We're gonna get to hot lap. We pulled a pill when we rolled in the gate, which I drew a 73. So I'm gonna be starting towards the back of my heat race. But for guys that drew a lower pill, they're gonna be starting up front, and it's ASCS passing point. So if you start up front, you need to finish there. If you start in the back, you need to pass cars, and everyone you pass, you jump closer to the top, and then that's gonna set up tonight's A main event lineup. Now, before we get on track tonight at Jackson, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Champion Racing Oil. Now, throughout our program, it's important for us to use products that allow us to be successful. So that's why for many seasons we have used Champion Racing Oil with our limited engines, with our 360, and now as we're running the 410 sprint car full time. So these guys are a big part of us, producing the most horsepower and also taking care of our equipment at the same time. So if you guys would like to check out the Champion brand, I'll put a link at the top of the description. I know there are several other teams, throughout the World of Outlaws, High Limit, that use this exact product, and of course we're all out here doing this together. So thanks to Champion, we're now going to get on track at Jackson and get the night underway. So our trip is finally underway behind the wheel. Feels good just to get out there and, green, white checkered, got a chance to hot lap. Not gonna lie, I wish we could qualify just to go out there and run some more laps by myself, but the format's the same for everyone. They threw us all out there, and it's interesting right now, Jackson in 1 and 2, it's kind of like, maybe not a feature track, but it's wide, 4 or 5 car lengths, and it's slick. And then 3 and 4 is the complete opposite. Where it's in the shade, it's pretty much 1 lane. So 2 totally different ends. I felt like we were okay. Maybe a solid 5 or 6 out of 10 with our race car. We're gonna make some changes just to feel a little bit more stuck. You get on these big tracks and you have so much downforce and you have air pushing the car down and the wings are working like no other. And I think we're just trying to get a little bit better feel for me behind the wheel, so where I can, move my car wherever I need to be, whether that's the bottom, whether that's the middle, or whether that's the top, as the track's really, continuing to take shape. And we must do that now with our pill draw. I think we were the highest draw, so we're starting 9th in our heat race and we have to pass cars. So we made it in tonight's dash. We started 8th there in that heat race and finished 4th. We were supposed to start 9th, but then I think one car elected to start at the back, so I don't know how we got scored points-wise. Overall, passed some cars and felt okay. You know, I feel like I was just a little timid, and I think what's difficult, I haven't raced with most of the guys here, and some I've never raced with before, so I think I was just timid because I wasn't sure some of the guys that I was around and if they were gonna, you know, how they were gonna race around me, right? So that's one thing when you're kind of in a different area that you don't run a lot. I just tried to consider, and like I said, I felt like that made me, you know, maybe lose a little bit of time early when I could have made some better moves and not made some mistakes. But overall, ran the bottom well, ran the top of 1 and 2. It seems like 1 and 2 on top, bottom 3 and 4 is kind of the line, but I think that might change as the track kind of continues to lose a little bit of grip. But now we have to factor in it's a lot cooler, the sun's gone. But yeah, our race car felt, you know, 10 times better than hot laps, and we just snuck into the redraw, it sounds like, off points, so we'll see what we draw, and we'll roll out for the dash, and that will determine tonight's A main event starting spots for 1 through 8. It feels good, you know, Jackson's awesome. We ran well here last year with the Outlaws, and just kind of trying to continue that, and you know, different car, back with my family stuff, just kind of trying to make small adjustments. And I've been racing on bull rings the last 2 months back home on the West Coast, so just trying to adjust to the, you know, bigger racetrack and some wing speed again, and you know, now we'll have a decent spot for the dash.
Show them what you got. Get that
final job.
Hill for the dash. So that's the number 3. So before running. About to roll off for 25 laps here around the Motorplex. Ended up getting a good dash draw, but lost a row there in the dash. Just didn't run the greatest 6 laps. Felt like I kind of got caught in the wrong spot. The bottom was really good in the heats, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to stick around. And 3 and 4, where I thought it would probably be there a little more, it actually was just gone. Almost seemed like some of the sandy berm, like if some guys had ran over it, dragged some material on the track, and then made it like nearly impossible to run without just getting, you know, railed around the outside. So sucks we lost a row there, but we learned a little bit about our car. We just need to get it to roll around the track. I feel like I'm getting kind of tripped up when I run the high side, and I'm not making enough corner speed and carrying that off the exit and kind of get me down the straightaway, and then it almost affects every single lap. I do think we're a little closer though than we think. We just got to make a few minor adjustments, get the car a little bit better, and then we'll have a shot here. Rolling off from the 3rd row, we got some track position, but we also need to attack moving forward to try to get towards the podium and have a shot at winning this thing.
And your front wheel goes like...
Well, not a bad night. I mean, we started 5th, ran 4th. Technically came from 7th because I got a terrible start. They reworked the racetrack right before we went out. Like, I didn't think they were going to. I don't know, they were calling us to staging, and then they're like, oh, we're reworking it, and then we thought they were just throwing water, and all of a sudden we rolled out and they were tilling it, but I was already in my car, so we were just a little tight early. We were good at the end. Like I said, backed up the first couple laps, just didn't get a good first corner, right? We didn't have wing speed, and skated across the track and left the door open for the cars behind me, and then I had an uphill battle. We didn't have any yellows. You know, got close to 3rd, but never was able to be close enough to make the move, and then they're kind of getting close to the end when I even had a shot. We're having some sort of leak. It feels like it's coming through from the engine side. I don't know what it is. We'll have to look, but all this fluid almost seems like it's water, because it wasn't hot or nothing. Like, I've had that before where power steering fluid or something, it's hot, but it was just water, and I had 10 tear-offs on. I started pulling tear-offs I could not see. I literally, my visor was covered, and it was like almost like smearing, the best way to put it. It was terrible. So I almost considered opening my visor a crack to try to see through. Then we had a yellow, was able to clean it, and then just finish the race. But just a bad deal, because like I felt like that hindered our second half, and when I was getting better, then I'm dealing with that as I'm racing, and you just can't. But top 5, missed the podium. Felt like though we could have had speed to be a little better. So that is going to wrap up our show at the Jackson Motorplex. All in all, a really solid night. You know, a little disappointed with how things ended. We wish we were just, you know, a few spots better, but we are at least really close to where we want to be. We just got to keep working on the little things, eliminate any mistakes, kind of like what happened there in that feature that make it harder for me to do my job. But overall, we just got to keep, you know, putting ourselves in position to make it happen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Deuces.